London, England, under a sky brushed with the golden hues of a late spring morning, the spires of Westminster Abbey stood tall and serene, whispering centuries of British history. On this day, however, the Abbey bore witness not just to its past, but to a moment reaching resolutely into the future. Queen Camilla, consort to King Charles III, stepped with quiet confidence through the ancient doors to unveil a new foundation stone, one that symbolizes more than just bricks and mortar. It represents continuity, resilience, and the gentle strength of a modern queen forging her place in the annals of British history. A ceremonial occasion with historical echoes. As bells rang out across Westminster, echoing along the Thames and into the hearts of Londoners gathered at Parliament Square, Queen Camilla arrived to a hushed and respectful crowd. Dressed in a regal yet understated ensemble of soft lavender, chosen, no doubt, for its historical associations with dignity and calm. The Queen was greeted by the Dean of Westminster, the Very Reverend Dr. David Hoyle, along with senior clergy, historians, and selected members of the public. The foundation stone, destined for a new educational annex being built adjacent to the Abbey, is part of an initiative to expand the Abbey's role as a place not only of worship and royal ceremony, but of learning and dialogue. The Queen's involvement signals the monarchy's endorsement of this evolving mission. Westminster Abbey has always been more than a church, Dr. Hoyle said in his opening address. It is a place where the past converses with the present. Today, with Queen Camilla's blessing, we lay a stone not just in the earth, but in the timeline of our collective future. A royal journey of quiet strength. While Queen Camilla's public role has expanded in recent years, this occasion marked a particularly significant moment. Long regarded as a quiet stabilizer in King Charles III's reign, Camilla has consistently stepped into roles that require both elegance and resilience. Her presence at Westminster Abbey today, an institution so inextricably tied to royal coronations, weddings, and farewells, felt as though it cemented her own place within the sacred and symbolic geography of the crown. As the Queen approached the foundation stone, the sun caught the glint of a delicate brooch on her lapel, a cameo of Queen Victoria, perhaps a nod to the legacies she walks among. A hush fell over the crowd as she drew back the embroidered velvet covering, revealing the smooth Portland stone beneath, freshly inscribed with the date and her name. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Her speech, delivered with grace and warmth, echoed the values she has long championed: literacy, accessibility to education, and the preservation of history. Foundations, she said, pausing gently, are not simply made of stone. They are made of knowledge, of kindness, of understanding. In this place, where kings have knelt and poets have been buried, we now also make room for young minds to grow. It is a privilege to mark the beginning of such a chapter. A living abbey. The new annex, named the Cloister House Center, will house an educational institute designed to teach school children and international visitors about the Abbey's 1,000-year history. Interactive exhibits, digital reconstructions, and curated workshops will help tell the story of Britain not only through its monarchs, but through its artists, scientists, reformers, and builders. The foundation stone laid by Queen Camilla is set into the central archway of the entrance, where it will greet every future visitor. For many royal observers, the choice to have Queen Camilla unveil the stone was deeply symbolic. As the royal family adapts to a 21st century Britain, her steady presence and championing of education and literacy make her a fitting figure to herald this modern endeavor. She represents a quieter kind of royalty, said Eloise Benton, a historian from Cambridge University. Queen Camilla doesn't draw attention to herself, but everything she does, whether visiting schools or reading with children, reflects her belief in the power of knowledge. This is a milestone not just for the Abbey, but for her legacy as queen. A gathering of generations. Among the attendees were children from local London schools, many of whom had never stepped inside Westminster Abbey before. They stood in a special gallery, waving miniature Union Jacks and sketching in their notebooks, encouraged by their teachers to take in the solemnity and splendor of the day. One girl, 10-year-old Anika Rahman from Southwark, shared her excitement. "It feels magical, like I'm inside a book." And the Queen was right there. She smiled at us. The intergenerational nature of the ceremony underscored the Abbey's broader mission. By integrating education into its daily function, the church becomes a living institution, a place that doesn't just host history but actively teaches it. The Royal School of Needlework, another of Camilla's favored causes, contributed the ceremonial cloth that covered the foundation stone. Embroidered with oak leaves, scrolls, and the Queen's monogram, the cloth itself will later be preserved in the Abbey's archives, a silent witness to the day's significance. Music and meaning. The ceremony was framed with carefully chosen music, reflecting the Abbey's unparalleled choral tradition. The choir of Westminster Abbey, whose voices have graced coronations and royal weddings, performed John Rutter's For the Beauty of the Earth, a nod to the nurturing themes of education and growth. The Queen closed her eyes during the hymn, clearly moved. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Reflections from the Royal Household. Following the ceremony, Queen Camilla met briefly with educators and representatives from heritage charities. A spokesperson for the royal household noted that the Queen had taken a personal interest in the design of the annex, requesting that it include accessible entryways and tactile exhibits for the visually impaired, mirroring her long-standing support for inclusivity in education. Her Majesty believes deeply in the idea that history belongs to everyone, the spokesperson said. And she sees the Abbey's new wing as a place where stories can be told in new and engaging ways. Press and public response. Public reaction to the event has been overwhelmingly positive, with many praising the Queen's evolving role within the monarchy. Social media lit up with images of the ceremony, with hashtags like #QueenCamilla, #WestminsterStone, and #LegacyInStone trending by the evening. Royal commentator James Lancaster described the event as a graceful moment that subtly, yet unmistakably, defines Queen Camilla's reign. She has taken on her role with dignity and compassion, and today, she helped ensure the crown's past is always in conversation with the future. Indeed, even longtime skeptics of the monarchy found something meaningful in the simplicity of the act. It wasn't flashy, one Westminster local noted, but it felt real. She's not trying to be anyone else. She's just being Queen Camilla, and that seems to be enough. A stone set in time. As the Queen departed the Abbey, a light drizzle began to fall, typical London weather, reluctant to let the sunshine linger too long. But beneath the rain, the foundation stone gleamed slightly, kissed by droplets like dewdrops on a new page. It sat there, a small, pale square against centuries of dark stone, but carrying a weight far beyond its physical mass. It stood for more than a new building. It stood for the strength and quiet service, the power of knowledge, and the enduring role of tradition reimagined. And in the quiet aftermath, as the choir robes were folded away and the velvet cloth tucked into archival drawers, Westminster Abbey remained as it always has, watchful, wise, and now just a little more complete. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.